Okay, next I'd like to show you the set to set mode. This is the mode that you get into when you're rehearsing. Let's say you're rehearsing a marching band and you want to rehearse from a specific set to another set. So first of all, I'm just going to kind of let it run a little bit so you can see how it works a little bit. When we start, there's a count off at the beginning that you can turn off or on. Right now it's set at 8 counts, and it'll click through. You can see the counts advancing over here. As we get to the maximum counts for that set, it changes to the next set, set 2. You'll also hear subdivisions turn on at appropriate times, and also there will be tempo changes at appropriate times. We just had a meter change into 3/4. And after 12 counts, now we're starting an accelerando. And all this is automated. We've programmed all these sets in so that we're not having to do this manually when it happens in the rehearsal. It just goes. So now we're locked in at 180 beats a minute, and it's going to change into some multimeter here in a second. And now we're going to get to our last set, and there's a retardando back down to 90 beats a minute. That's the last set for now. Great, and so that's just a little demo about some of the features. The way that you would actually change these would be in our edit set screen, which we're going to get to in a second. Come back down here and tab back over to the set to set screen and show you how you use this. So basically, here's what you're able to do on this screen. You can choose your start set and your end set. So let's say I'm standing at the first set of the show, the very opening of the show, and I want to rehearse set 1 through set 4. Well, I could come over here and I say I'm going to end when we get to set 4, right? And basically hit start. And it's going to give you count off and start, and you'll stop when you get to set 4. So if you want to choose another one, you can start here. So the first set that you're going to hear is going to be the one that you're marching. So you're standing in set 3, you want to rehearse set 4, so you hit start. And this will rehearse one set for you, and it'll stop when you're getting ready to start moving to set 5. So that's how that works. That's pretty cool. Let's see here. Count off. You can either turn the count off on or off down here at the bottom. So now it just starts right on the set. If I hit the count off back on, you're going to hear the count off. And if I'd like to change the count off, I can come over here to the designer, and here's my accents. I have on 1, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8. Let's say this time it's in 3/4, so I want to have a 6-beat lead in, and I can go ahead and decide where I want to have the accents. So I can turn whichever one's on or off, and let's say I want to have the normal volume down a little bit, so I focus on the accents. Hit done, start it. So I've just changed the count off. So that's a pretty cool feature. So it's very versatile during your rehearsal and very easy to change. Also, you can use these arrows to move around to your start and stop steps sets, as well as these lists. So very easy to change, and that's pretty cool. But this is not where you actually edit what happens on each set. This is designed for when you're actually rehearsing. When you're editing the sets, you come over down here, this tab down here, Edit Set List, and you've got a lot of different options here. To move from set to set, you hit over here. If you want to change the name to something else, you can just click in here and type in a new name using the keypad and hit done when you're done, and it'll change. If you want to adjust the number of counts in the set, you change it down here. You can just go up or down, or you can manually type in the new counts. Now I've got 20 counts there. When I've made a change that's appropriate, I hit save, and we're good to go. Also, tempo. If you want to change the tempo, you can come in here and you can move this up or down just like you do on the other screen. But the interesting thing is it tells you what the tempo is at the last set, and then you have the tempo at the of this set, and you can decide if there is a tempo change, whether it's immediate or whether you want to excel or retard into it. So for this one, we're going to choose immediate, when we go to this, it would immediately change into 158. If I want to do the accel retard, just to give you an example of that, so here's our accelerando to 180. If I come look at this, the tempo, the retard accel button has been chosen. Old tempo is 144, we're going to 180. And I have a slider here at the bottom that you can adjust how quickly or late the tempo change actually occurs. So if you choose it early, it's going to be more quick at the beginning and then kind of ease into 180 at the end. Linear is going to be pretty much steady all the way through with the tempo increase. If you do late, it's going to slowly start to creep up, and then as you get closer and closer to the last count of the set, it's going to rapidly increase the tempo. So that's a pretty cool, neat feature, and that way you can figure out exactly musically what kind of accelerando or retardando you need, lock it in here, and then when you're rehearsing it, you're building that muscle memory of how that accelerando is working with your students. So that's a really great feature. And just like you're able to adjust on the main metronome screen, you can also change the meter. It's the exact same screen that you see before. So let's say you want to have 7, 7, 8. You do that. You can put in your accents, adjust the volumes. It's all going to save. And when you come back here, now we're in 7, 8. You want to have different subdivisions, just like the other screen. You can decide volume levels, which subdivisions you want to turn off and on, and then which notes of the subdivision you want to actually hear. So you can punch these in, get it all adjusted the way you want it, and go ahead and hit done, and it's going to be saved. I don't have any of them on right now, so I just turned the 16ths on. So we come back over here, and when I've got it all ready, I hit save, so when I come back to it, it'll be there. If I come back to the set by set screen, and I go to my, if I started this set, my Excel, now that we've made the changes, the name doesn't make any sense, but you see it's in 7, 8, 360, and the 16th notes are there. So it's a pretty neat way that you can design the sets. If you want to access a particular set, you've got a list here where you can do that. If you need to add extra sets, you can come over here and just hit insert, and right now we're in set 7, so it's going to insert a set in between 7 and 8. So you hit that, boom, you got another set. If you need a lot of them, just hit a lot, and then you can type them in. So it's a very handy way of doing that. Delete sets work the same way. You hit delete, and it goes away. And so it gives you can kind of get a template. If you have a large number of sets at a certain tempo, you can just get that first one set and then hit the plus button several times and get a lot of sets at that tempo. So that's the way that that screen works. And you have your master volume control that does get saved set to set. So if you do want to bring the volume down in one of the softer sets and then maybe have the volume be louder later on, you can adjust that as well. So it's a very customizable set-by-set automated sort of functionality that you have with this metronome. So that's the set to set and the edit set list screens. Next up, I'm going to talk about some of the other options you have and how you can export your files once you've had them. Once you've created them, you can export them and send them to other users.